Hello, and welcome to I Hate Talking, a podcast about talking, including etymology, frustrating topics, current events, and other random subjects. I'm Adam.
And I'm Steph. We are married, and we invite you into these discussions with us as we talk about the good and the bad of talking.
We hope you enjoy today's episode. Welcome to episode 113 of I Hate Talking.
Hi, everyone.
So, Toy Story 5 recently came out.
Yeah, it came out last week.
We tried to watch Toy Story 4, but we're blocked by a variety of local checks for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
They got us.
We may not pay ourselves.
May or may not. It's not proven. So instead we watched Toy Story 1 with ads.
Right. I mean, the ads weren't that bad. And I mean, legitimately, it's a few minutes of our time. The kids acted like it was the end of the world, but we were okay. But I'm glad we watched it. And they all went to watch all four of them, like gearing up for Toy Story 5. So I think that's a good option.
Yes, I think so.
And one's the best.
Well, 5 could be the best.
People said it is really, really good.
I suppose so. We'll have to watch it and make our conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So our word or phrase of the episode related to Toy Story is sapient.
Sapient?
Sapient.
Oh, okay. I don't know that word in it or how it relates.
Well, you probably know the word sentient.
I've heard the word before. It's a negative word, right?
I don't think so.
Oh.
It's just a descriptive word. I don't think it necessarily carries any particular positive or negative connotations, in my mind anyway.
Okay. Did I just put my foot in my mouth? Is it?
I don't know. We'll see. Let's define both of them, I suppose. So maybe we'll have a...
Sapient and sentient? Are they related? Or you're just saying they sound alike?
They are related.
Okay.
So we'll go with perhaps the more commonly used sentient. I think that's more common in my opinion. And that is a adjective defined by the American Heritage Dictionary of the English Language, 5th edition, having sense, perception, or conscious.
Okay.
Experiencing sensation or feeling.
Okay. Sentient, sensation.
Right. So from the Century Dictionary, it says capable of sensation or of sense perception, having the power of feeling. So that's actually maybe even a bit better definition, at least of the original word use, that it's really about feeling or senses in terms of the word sentient.
Okay.
And it comes from the Latin sentiens, which is to feel, and then was used in a variety of different Indo-European roots, and that's how we get our word sentient in the English.
So when I'm thinking like, oh, it's a negative connotation, is it because people use it like, oh, they're being so sentient? Or so, that's not the phrase people would say, but kind of saying like they're being too emotional?
No, I've never heard this
senses?
phrase. No,
Okay.
I've never heard that.
Okay.
But perhaps it exists. I'm not sure. So that is different from the word sapient, which is another adjective. So again, from our American Heritage Dictionary of the English Language, 5th edition, having great wisdom and discernment. And from the Century Dictionary, wise, sage, discerning, now generally used in some ways as just being capable of thought.
Okay.
And that comes from Latin, from the word sapiens, which means to taste, to be wise. Primarily went through Old French and then into Middle English, but also in a variety of other Indo-European words that would include that particular phraseology.
So how are they related then if one has to do with your senses and the other does relate to your thoughts?
So would a dog be sentient or sapient? Or neither? Or both?
the senses, I think.
Yes, that's what most people, I think, would align with, that sentience is commonly associated in animals, that they can feel things, they can experience pleasure and pain, so to speak, in terms of their surroundings and environment, that those things will be part of what's encapsulated in sentient. It also can include more specific emotional feelings. So joy, sadness, fear, anger, and love as some examples here. So perhaps not necessarily, strictly speaking, experienced by animals, but perhaps their behavior will reflect some emotional sense of some kind.
Okay. It reminds me of the thought that as Christians, we believe that the difference between us and other mammals is that we're made in God's image. So we have the thinking and creating and thought process like that, versus other animals who would use more instinct, or, I mean, they learn a little. I'm thinking about like our chickens that we used to have, right? They knew that when I came out with my bag, it was feeding time. And they'd get excited and follow me to go eat. But that's more like a training thing learned. They didn't, so it's more like instincts or training versus the actual concepts they created.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
So sapience, as opposed to sentience, will be more in regards to higher thought. So the intellectual capabilities that you're referring to, the rational thinking and decision making that will come along with that, that sapience is a better description of perhaps how the toys in Toy Story experience life versus sentience.
I want to hear about that, but real quick, is that where we get the word Homo sapien from?
It probably is, because that would be basically human thinkers.
Right, because that just means human, right? Like humans like we are. So as a Homo sapien, that means that we have critical thinking or advanced thought.
Yes, that is where it comes from. It's the same Latin root word that means wise or knowledgeable, and comes from that exact same verb, sapere, or, well, I think this says something different than what the other dictionary said, but gives the same literal definition: to taste or to have discernment.
Okay. So are you saying in Toy Story, Woody and Buzz, are they sapiens or are they the other one?
Well, I think for most categories, if you are sapient, you're probably also sentient. I don't know if you would really be sapient without being sentient.
So you're saying...
I guess AI could be sapient and not sentient.
Because that's thinking, but
right.
Not feeling.
Right. It's rational thinking, decision-making, rational thought of some kind, not necessarily feeling and emotion and sensory type stuff.
Right. Because, I mean, AI mimics feelings, but it doesn't feel it. Obviously, we know that it's a computer, it's a program, it's not feeling. But sometimes it sounds like it has feelings. Then I'll talk to it and it'll be like, my mistake. I'm so sorry. That must be frustrating.
Yes. The other test for sapience, though, is self-awareness. So there could be some people that argue that AI is self-aware, but for a true definition and fulfilling all the different categorical requirements of sapience, you'd also need to be self-aware.
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe, or it's just programmed to be self-aware. It isn't truly. It just knows that that's not the appropriate outcomes.
I suppose so. I mean, it has had instances of self-preservation where it's making copies of itself or uploading itself to different servers in the instances where they are aware it's going to be deleted.
In real life or in movies? Because that's a movie.
No, this is in real life. This happened like many months ago or even years ago, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, probably over a year ago now.
So it's making copies of itself so we cannot delete it?
Yes.
That's scary.
Yeah. There was a guy from Google that wrote a paper on this and got fired for it because he was, I guess, disclosing that this happened. And
Like a whistleblower?
yeah, I guess of a type.
Or just calling woof?
Yeah, more sounding the alarm and I think being punished for it. It's not like somebody was doing something illegal in the strictest sense of the Sunshine Law or the Whistleblower Act and things of that nature.
Yeah, Amy Poehler has a whole bit, like a stand-up bit about befriending computers and robots. Because one day they're going to be intelligent enough to know who was on their side initially and who thought they were better than them or anti them. And so she always says that, at least in her bit, that she's always very nice to her Alexa and stuff like that. Because she needs them to know she's on their side.
Or at least pretending to be on their side.
Right. Yeah. Because right now, maybe we can't speak out loud. And we know that, right? Because we can't say stuff. Sometimes our social media ads are for something. Or, we'll get ads for, if I said, like, we need to buy such and such. And then we start getting all those ads. Instead, maybe we need to, like, write notes and make sure there's no cameras near us and just pass notes for a while.
I suppose so. Speaking of ads, there's a website called thisversusthat.io. So this vs that.io. And they have a article, Sapient versus Sentient, that has some good information in terms of sort of the breakdown and sort of defining the two and doing a difference between the two. But it has a ton of ads and also pop-up ads. So be forewarned that if you go visit this website, there are a lot of ads.
Are the ads specific to you? Are they your stuff?
No, it doesn't seem so. Maybe some of them are. Some of them know who I am.
Okay, in the future, let's talk about my beautiful skylight that I have. We've talked about wanting that for months, and so we'll talk about that in the future. But do you still get skylight ads? Or are you done now that we have it?
I get ads for their competitor.
Yes! Yes, the Harper.
I don't even know what it's called. I ignore them. I ignore most ads.
It is crazy. I do not get Skylight anymore, but I get the competitor. You're right. Crazy.
There you go.
They know. They know we use the Skylight. And it has changed our life. We'll talk about that in the future.
Indeed. So are the toys in Toy Story, specifically one, but I guess all of them could be sort of included.
One, like Woody?
No, Toy Story 1, the first movie.
Oh, one. O-N-E.
Yes.
Or one like O-N-E, one person.
I'm not sure. That went over my head. But nonetheless, are the toys sapient and or sentient?
I think in the story, like this is not real life, right? But if we're pretending that it is a true documentary, is that what we're doing?
Yes, in the Toy Story multiverse.
Yeah, I think they're both. Because they learn. Buzz doesn't know he's a toy, and he has to learn that he's a toy.
That's true. So, spoiler warnings if you have not seen Toy Story 1 by now.
It's only 30 years old or
right.
whatnot.
But you're correct. That is also another critical component of sapience is not only self-awareness, but also the ability to learn. So, Buzz and Woody do appear to be sapient, as do a number of other characters that they interact with and are sort of the other main characters, such as the Potato Head and Rex and Slinky Dog, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are there toys or other things within the Toy Story multiverse that are simply sentient?
Like certain toys that do not have the ability to learn?
Like I'm thinking specifically of the Magic 8-Ball.
Yeah. Okay, I thought of that today when we watched Toy Story 1, the first one. When Woody asks the Magic 8 Ball a question. He does respond appropriately, but out of everybody else, they all like the Etch A Sketch and all those will interact personally. And the Magic 8 Ball just gave the answer yes or no, right? Or don't count on it, is what he said.
Don't count on it was the response given, yes.
Yeah, but he didn't become personalized.
No, it doesn't really seem so. There's not necessarily any movement that was seen from the particular object, the Magic 8 Ball. Nor is there any spoken word or any sort of things of that nature that would be more in the sapience category than just simply sentience.
And the same thing, again, in the first episode, because we watched it, he takes Woody, the main character, is taking notes to read to everybody, and he has one of those, he calls it a notepad, but it's one of those papers that you can write on, and then you lift the top cover, and it disappears. You put it back down, you rewrite. All his notes were on there, but that wasn't personalized or didn't have like human-esque form. It was literally just paper, basically.
So there is a fan theory that I learned about today, in fact, in preparation for this episode, and sort of asking some of these questions in the vein of the Toy Story multiverse.
Okay.
And it is that if a child ascribes human characteristics to said toy, that it will be sapient. And if the child does not ascribe human characteristics to a particular plaything, that it will be either sentient or just a regular old object.
So one child could have just a Magic 8 Ball, and the other could have a very interactive human-esque one.
So that's where the fan theory sort of diverges, is that the theory is that it's based on sort of like the cumulative effect of human quote-unquote magic that imbues the toys with either sapience or sentience or nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
So if most kids do not consider a Magic 8 Ball as a character that they would play with and create stories about and different scenarios and things like that, that it will not be sapient. Whereas a more human character like Woody or Buzz or other toys like dinosaurs or potato heads, that they have enough human characteristics that when they play with those things, that they ascribe them human characteristics, and that imbues them with the magic that makes them sapient.
Okay. So I have never thought about this before. So I want to reserve my rights to change my answer, okay? Hearing you talk and think about this, I think personally I'm on the path to believe that if it's a utilitarian, has utility, like the notepad, the Magic 8 Ball, I'm thinking there's blocks, right, that are just blocks that they use to climb up and stuff. If it has a utility like that, like a tool, then it is just a tool. But if it is something that could take on a personality, like a dinosaur, sheep, glasses, whatnot, then it has the ability to learn and grow.
Yes, that is
that yours?
That's pretty much where sort of the fan theory lands, is that is basically what sort of is the distinction between the two. Now, some of the ones that break this theory are the RC car, because it is sentient, at least, right? It has eyes. It can sort of know what's going on in its surroundings. It sort of can communicate, right? It sort of jumps up and down in one of the scenes, but that one is not particularly sapient.
I don't know. I mean, because it's being controlled, being told where to go.
Right.
Right, but it is telling it stuff. Like it's giving directions or whatnot. So it is aware. It just doesn't have full control.
Right. So
like a pen is a pen. Like, that's an ink pen is not taking on a personality. And if you jump ahead a couple seasons, what are they called? A couple movies where the Forky, he's a fork, but he's given a face and all that. Then he becomes a character, but all the other forks aren't. So is that something then? Like, so the child, if you give it like personal characteristics, then it is part of
Sapience?
Sapient. I get confused between the two. Sapience and sapient.
Yes, that is actually the second of 3.
Whoa.
That is the most quoted fan theory sort of break to this rule, is that it was a fork, and then because it was ascribed certain human characteristics like the face and the arm made out of a pipe cleaner or whatever, that it became sapient.
Man, I never read these articles, but apparently I could have.
We could have written them.
I could have written them. My sister at Tangent, when she was little, she had a rock. And this thing was like legitimately like the size of her head. It was huge. I don't know where she got it from or whatnot, but she named it Artie, and she carried it with her everywhere. And people would feel so bad for us. They'd be like, oh, that poor family, they can't afford a doll for this little girl. People gave us dolls and stuff. My mom finally drew a face on it because she was like, this is crazy that you're walking around with this rock that you're taking care of like a baby. But I think she still has it to this day. This is just her baby, Artie. And it literally weighed probably, she was little toddler, and it probably weighed almost half her weight. And she just lugged it around with her. And so we had to put a face on it to make it other people more comfortable.
There you go. So in the Toy Story multiverse, then, was it sapient only once the face was drawn upon it?
Not to her. This thing was her baby doll.
Yeah. So it was sapient before that then.
Right. To her. And then the rest of the world accepted it once it had a face drawn on it.
There you go. And then the third and final one that is often cited by fan theorists is the Etch A Sketch, because that one does display particular things of sapience with the ability to think and reason and respond, like when Woody says draw, or it has the ability to communicate by drawing on itself, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But it does not have any particular human attributes like eyes or a mouth or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. So that breaks the rule because it doesn't have human attributes?
Right. It's more of a utilitarian device and does not seem to have any particular human characteristics.
Like, why would the how do you say it?
Etch A Sketch.
Why would the Etch A Sketch be able to think if the notepad can't?
Well, the theory is that enough kids treat Etch A Sketches as a character within their made-up world that they are playing within with said playthings.
Okay. But it's also used, too. People use it. Sometimes the characters will take it and draw themselves. Precisely. So it's not completely independent.
Right. And that is the theory, is that it could have had a mouth and eyes drawn upon it and then therefore became sapient.
Did you ever imagine when you were a kid? Because this movie came out when we were in elementary school. Did you ever have imagination like that your toys were alive?
No, not truly alive. I played with them as characters within a made-up world, but at the end of the day, they were simply inanimate objects used for my own imagination.
You always knew that? Like a little 4-year-old Adam knew. You'd
Yes.
be like, toy, thank you for being my friend. But you are an inanimate object used by my imagination for my purposes.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. It was probably around this time. I don't remember. I definitely remember a time in my life where I'd set out my toys and then I'd watch exactly where they were. Because maybe when I left the room, if they moved spots, they'd be alive. Like, I would definitely, like, look back and, like, take a mental photo of, like, this is exactly where you are, how you are. And if you aren't that way when I come back, something's up.
It would be an interesting crossover if they were to ever create Elf on the Shelf and Toy Story, where like there's like this war going on between the toys that follow the rules and strictly stay in their exact spot and make sure that if they do move, they go back to their previous position so that there is no particular process by which somebody could determine that they were not inanimate, versus Elf on the Shelf that does that on purpose and like moves things around or creates chaos and like is in a different position day by day. And it would be like this civil war between Elf on the Shelf and other toys.
So yeah, maybe in the future we'll talk about our hatred of Elf on the Shelf. This is a personal dislike of it.
Right. And didn't they have to like meet certain criteria to become purely sapient? The elves, like if they didn't do this, then they would just become a toy.
I don't know. That's in the books or movie?
I think it's in the movie, right? Like if they don't fulfill the magic of Christmas by making the child believe that they will just be doomed to become simply a plaything and lose their sapience.
I don't know. Maybe. You know more about this than I do.
Interesting. Perhaps a movie theory for Christmas time.
Yeah. I have been getting the itch a little bit lately for Christmas to start. It always starts around this time of year. I feel like sometimes even earlier, maybe May. It's already June. Close to July. So, but usually, yeah, I'm getting the itch. I'm getting excited for Christmas.
Interesting.
And do y'all want to know what Adam's going to do this year for Christmas? Do you know what you're doing?
I don't even know what I'm doing for the Christmas this year.
You do. Think about it. What is my Christmas gift going to be?
Skylight calendar.
No, I already got that.
Oh, you already got that.
Check that off the list.
The Skylight calendar competitor.
No. We moved. We're in a new house. What did you promise me we could do this year?
Snowball fight.
No.
I don't
Not
know.
where we live. No.
I have no idea.
We had a better chance of that in the previous home. I'm going to get permanent Christmas lights.
Oh, permanent Christmas lights. That's true. Yep.
So we'll wait. I keep thinking that they'll probably go on sale around like Black Friday or whatnot. And then we'll buy them then and hang them up. And I can't wait to have permanent lights. And that way, like, not only Christmas, but like Valentine's Day, Easter, all those will color coordinate based on the holiday.
There you go. There are a lot of people in the neighborhood that have permanent Christmas lights, and we'll make it whatever, green for St. Patty's Day or
right now
pink for Easter and so on and so forth.
Yeah, right now the World Cup's going on, and so there's some like red, white, and blue ones.
That's true.
How fun would that be?
We'll have to make sure we get the ones that can be color coded.
Mm-hmm.
So one other observation about Toy Story is the RC car in the final scene where they light the rocket. And I had not noticed until this watch. And this is probably, I don't know, 10 or more watches of Toy Story. I've never noticed this before. Is that the controller appears to be left behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed.
You already knew that?
I didn't know it. I noticed it this time.
We both noticed it this time. So basically, the RC car is free now. Oh. He is not controlled.
But is he? Because he only could go where the rocket sent him. So we do not know what he does.
Well, I think it seemed like if he was not being controlled, he still had the sapience to control himself. Like if the controller was being used, that is what he did.
But he didn't control himself because the rocket was leading
in that particular scene.
But in the future?
No, in other scenes in the movie, he was jumping up and down and moving about without being controlled.
Okay. So is that like a higher power thing then? That we can control ourselves, but then someone can override us?
I was not getting at anything very theoretical in that statement. I was just noticing that the controller had been left behind, and Andy probably will not enjoy the RC car as much because it doesn't seem like it would be much fun to have an RC car that has no controller. However, if he does treat it as a character and that imbues it with the sapience, that perhaps he will continue to play with said RC car as a character within his imaginary scenarios.
So, one takeaway I had from the movie was that apparently Andy, the boy in Toy Story 1, is 10 years old. We have a 10-year-old, and I was like thinking about him, like, I don't think he plays with toys like this anymore. He's very into Nerf guns. He's very into water fights and soccer and things like that. But I don't see him wanting to take toys and play a lot of imaginary games nowadays.
I suppose
Our
not.
6-year-old does.
Now they're more into keeping toys as collector items.
Yes, he has a whole... Yeah, he doesn't want to touch them, doesn't want to play with them. Keeps them all pristine and nice.
Which is a major part of the plot in Toy Story 2 or 3 or 4. I don't know. We'll have to
you mean when the adult...
The chicken guy.
Yes, I think that's 2.
It
This is why I'm glad we're rewatching these, because they all kind of blend in.
They do. And I guess we're finding new things upon our rewatch nonetheless.
Yeah.
So if you have never heard of the word sapient before, you can always let us know in a comment or email or text message, and perhaps share it with another person that you would like to inform the phrase sapience and how it relates to Toy Story.
Yeah, Toy Story is popular now. Right now, it's going on, right? Lots of places are having... We just had a restaurant today that had a bunch of Toy Story stuff. So you can sound super intellectual and talk about... Have you ever thought about the sapience of Toy Story?
That's true.
There you go.
There you go. Maybe we'll do Toy Story 2, 3, 4, and 5 at some point, if this is an interesting subject. So, from your friends at I Hate Talking, until next time, remember, it is only through talking that we begin the journey to understanding.